The more I work, the more it feels like I'm getting rage baited. Some days it's gonna be the best day of my life. I'm gonna be doing absolutely nothing and getting paid for it. And other days, I'm gonna be paired up with someone where it feels like God is testing how good of a person I am. For example, sometimes it feels like I get paired up with an NPC just to make my life harder. This could either be a customer, other worker, or even a manager. Now, what do I mean by NPC? Now, the Google definition of it is a non-playable character, so pretty much a robot. And that's what I'm gonna be going off of, a robot. Now, I would much rather have a customer that acts like a robot than anything else. Because the majority of the time, I don't have to deal with customers. I'm over by Grill doing my own thing. So the only time I have to deal with a customer is when I hand them a sub. So an NPC customer, that doesn't really affect me. But an NPC employee is like 10 times worse. There's this new girl. And I understand, since he's new, it's gonna take some time for her to get used to it. But it gets to a certain point. My manager has a saying where he would rather you ask a billion questions and not get it wrong than get it wrong and not ask any questions. But she's kind of taking this too literally. The other day, she was restocking chips, and we have labels on the thing. That way, you don't get confused on which chip goes where. So, example, to say Cool Ranch Doritos, Nachos, Cheetos, yada, yada, yada. This girl asked me, do I put the Cool Ranch Doritos where it says Cool Ranch?
Really, nigga?
At first, I thought she was joking, so I joked back. I was like, nah, you put the Cheetos there. And then when I saw her grab for the Cheetos, I was like, no, I'm joking. Yeah, you put the Cool Ranch Doritos where it says Cool Ranch. I mentioned this in a previous video where I work at a sandwich shop, and a part of my job is where I dress people's subs. So you would come in, order your sub, and I just put like the onions, lettuce, tomato, or whatever you want on it. Let me reenact what she was doing. Do you want any onions on your sandwich?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Here, I got you. You want any lettuce?
Yes.
You want any tomatoes?
Shut up, Megatron.
You know how awkward that was for you to watch that? Imagine that's how I feel, but for every single sub she does. Like, she would make 5 customers feel like a rush. And it's so awkward for the customer because they're like just staring at us. Literally, when she was doing it, a customer was just like shaking his head no at me. I couldn't really do anything but sit there and just watch. Like I said earlier, there's 3 categories of being an NPC. You got the customer, you got the employee, and then you got the manager. Now, like I said earlier, the manager is probably the worst one. I have this one manager who's just so straight. Like, you have to follow exactly what corporate says or else he's gonna be mad at you. And you're probably thinking, oh wow, you're just a bad employee, just do what corporate says. No, he takes that to a whole nother level. For example, the store was completely empty, not a person in sight. I was right by the grill, I just had my hands in my pocket, doing nothing. He comes up to me and says, hey, change it. I was like, change what? Hands in the pocket. You're not allowed to do that. Corporate doesn't want that. I'm like, what? Where am I supposed to put my hands at? Like, behind my back? Like, I'm not doing all that.
You better get that out of here.
Like, just get out of my face, bro. Obviously, I didn't say that. I gotta be the role model employee that I am. I said, oh, wow. Thank you, sir. I really take that into consideration. Thank you. Now, did I take that into consideration? No. It went one ear and out the other. And usually, when I get there, since I'm a closer, I have to start closing my stuff early. That way, I can get out earlier, But no. He says I have to close everything around 7. So that pushes everything else back about 40 minutes. Bro, if you think that's bad, there's so much more. I remember one time I was sweeping, literally sweeping. How could you mess it up? Somehow, apparently I did. He said I was sweeping too, long. So, I don't know. Like, he said my strokes, pause, were too long. He said I was, leaving prints or something. I'm not really sure. In my mind, I'm like, won't that just get away when we mop it? Because I'm just sweeping to get all the dirt away. But apparently, I don't even know. That's how stupid it was. Like, it was that stupid. So we have this tip jar that's obviously made for tips. And I guess sometimes it gets a little dirty or sticky. So he had me clean it. I'm not even exaggerating. I was cleaning that for 30 minutes. Because he would always find something wrong with it. Yeah, that's probably going to be the video. I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta go to practice. Good job.
Run from this fucking stick. Boom, boom. Yeah, I got ops from Beijing. I'm trying to get rich like Charlie Sheen. From the comments, shout out Eugene. Used to run shit up with him and my whole team. Go, let's go,